kind of pointing out a little bit of the progress that I've done so far. I'm just going to show you here how I'm trying to get a little bit more of a concentrated color here on the ends of the contour of that like abnormal shape, which is my water, or trying to be my water here in this particular composition. Again, using that tip of the brush. Sometimes I'll even extend my pinky. Seems very proper, but it helps give a little a little stability is always good. And this drop of color that I'm doing right now, I'm kind of moving quick, as you can see with my hand. It's not time lapse. I am that fast with my paintbrush. But anyway, if I do that, it gives me a chance to then pop back over and grab some water, tap that out a little bit, but then grab those edges. We don't want those harsh edges. We want to pull. We want this color to be pulled. We want it to look like almost like a wave, cascading back into the sound or something, that has that nice seamless color transition. Pretty cool. So yeah, I'm kind of pulling, and you can see where it's highly concentrated. Now it just kind of pops that outline. It kind of brings it to life. It doesn't, it's contrast without painting it one solid color. So I kind of like doing that with my watercolors. You'll find that I do it a lot. It's kind of my little fun technique that I enjoy. Again, that's the cool stuff that you find out when you do stuff over and over and over again, and you practice it. I start to like the properties of the medium, meaning the paint or the pencil or the marker, the, actual materials that I'm using, because it has a personality. And the personality, kind of like myself, it could get stuck very quickly. And you want to give it the flow that it needs, and that little extra aid of fluid, or in this case, just water, dropped on that color really allows for that life to be given to that specific shape or area that you might be working on, and it's kind of fun. And so if your paper is still a little damp too, you're taking on the properties of the surface without trying to overpaint. Overpainting tends to be the culprit with watercolors, really anything, but it's almost like, trying too hard to do something in that moment. You might have to just give it a break and say, okay, let me let that dry. The paper quality is going to start to depreciate. It's going to get a little bit funky, and almost like using a tissue over and over again. Obviously, you got to let that puppy go, get a new one. So you got to, work the space a little bit better. So that is really what my goal is in this area. So I'm going to kind of keep with that. If you want to hang with me and just watch, feel free, but I'm going to zip it for a little while, because who needs to hear that nonsense all the time? And this space is kind of fun. I don't want to lose this space. Sorry, I can't help myself. I've got this little like backwash action. I don't know if you can see that, like kind of receded into each other. And those are, I mean, they can be deliberate with that, but I think that really was just purely accidental, where I dropped water on this or got water within. Well, it's somewhat in its almost drying phase, and it just kind of pushed back and forth. It's like, like what backwash is. You spit back the liquid into a drink or something. So gross, but you know, in watercolor world, it's actually very pretty and offers a really neat effect. So I'm not going to try to overpaint this area at all because I really want to preserve that effect without painting on it. So sometimes just the initial wash is all you need. You don't have to go back and glaze it. It's not necessary. You like what you see, then you leave it alone. It's kind of cool that there was this immediate happening from day one that was just like, oh yeah, no, that's good stuff. That's staying right where it is. So, you know, sometimes we get too scared to mess with it some more. And that's just, you know, taking risks with artwork, just like with anything, you know, you have to kind of take the leap a little bit. Again, you know, little pull on the hair of the brush there. And if you want to vacuum or, you know, kind of clean up areas that might be a little bit over painted, you can always do that. So there's all sorts of little trials that can happen. What else do I want to float to at the moment? I'm going to leave that alone. I'm kind of into it. I do think I'm going to eventually revisit this place, but I'm not in the mood right now. So I'm just going to give it a quick little turn. And I'm noticing a little bit of an overspill here that I especially like, but I just want to, if I can, give this a little bit more weight of color. And I'm glazing a little bit of the green stuff on top of the blue just to offer not necessarily darkness, but just a different shade. I do like that little effect. And again, my color scheme has been consistent. I haven't changed anything, you know, maybe just messed around just a smidge with some shades. But a consistent color scheme is also useful as you paint. You know, it always helps. I feel like yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm kind of stuck at the moment. So I'm going to stop right here. Give yourself a chance, kind of see if you can. And actually, that's what I'm going to ask you. Tell me, what do I need? Where can I go? What can I do? You know, obviously this is an area that needs to be talked about, definitely get into, but if you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear from you because I really do kind of, the more I work on this, the more I'm kind of liking her. So let me know, you know, even what you'd call this. If you were to give it a title, what would you call it? So your feedback counts. So I'd love to hear from you guys. Talk to you.